What's going on, guys, and welcome into the Afterthoughts.
The Afterthoughts.
I almost said Afterthoughts show.
That's the same thing.
It's Afterthoughts. This was a last-second idea. We're going to run with it.
Episode as well.
Yeah, inauguration episode. So we're going to run with it. Not going to be the neatest. It's going to be a little sloppy, but we're going to run with it. So Ryan Lombardi, Ryan Adio, and Gavin Watson here to talk about Super Bowl 59. The Eagles take down the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean,
finally, somebody did it.
About time.
I'm actually happy. I know as a Cowboys fan, this probably makes you livid, but as a NFL fan, can you at least be a little happy the Chiefs lost?
No.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, dynasties are good for sports.
That's true.
And the Eagles winning the Super Bowl is not good for a dynasty because we need Mahomes to win that. We want history. We want to look back at this and be like, oh yeah, like we witnessed it. That was cool.
That's
true. I have a hard time with the Eagles winning, especially as a Cowboys fan.
I mean, as a Cowboys fan, like just the rise and dominance of the Eagles, especially like the dominance in that game. Does that make you scared, I guess, for next season? Does that give you less hope for next season?
Not entirely scared because I don't think outside of the young defenders they got, and Saquon, I don't think the Eagles got that much better.
I guess.
Saquon's always Saquon's gonna only get worse. I don't think there's a world where Saquon gets better.
We'll see.
Maybe that's not the right.
It would be a really, really poor thing if next year we look back on this, we're like, oh wow, it was.
Well, when you look at longevity of running backs, they really do not age like fine wine. So, I'm not too worried.
How old is he now?
And also with the streak that's going in the NFC East, someone else is bound to win it next year.
Yeah, someone else has to win it, I guess.
But isn't this a young Eagles team? Like, isn't everybody still young and within their rookie contract?
Yeah, that's the thing is Howie Roseman has the way that he crafted this team is beyond unbelievable. The fact that they even got Zach Bond, and he's Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I mean, he was up there to win it. They got Saquon. That's arguably the best free agency signing of all time. Right. And then you draft these guys. You get Quinion Mitchell first round. You get DeJean second round. You get Isaiah Rodgers late round. I mean, that's an insane offseason. That's right, one of the best offseasons of all time. I think, honest to God, that this Eagles team that we just watched in the Super Bowl is one of the greatest teams ever put together. I can't think of one weakness on the team.
I gotta agree. I mean, they had 14 wins on the year.
Yeah, and one of those losses came off of, the Falcons lost. Saquon just dropped the ball. Kenny Pickett lost to the Commanders. Right,
and the 12-5 Commanders, lo and behold. So how mad can you really be?
Who they smoked in the NFC Championship game, by the way.
They won big, and the Commanders did not play their best football, but I think some of those garbage time points get blown out of proportion.
I mean, yeah, that's how the Eagles always roll. They always score like one or two touchdowns when it doesn't matter anymore. But yeah.
They didn't do that yesterday, though. I mean, they were just putting points up.
Yeah,
so.
They didn't stop putting up points. It was 36-0 or 32-0 at one point?
I believe like so. That. I think it was... Yeah, I don't know the exact, but it was a lot to a little.
It was
before the Chiefs even got on the board.
34-0 was the biggest lead.
I think because they scored 6. At one
just to note, like the Eagles scored 6+ points in every quarter yesterday. So
yeah, it's complete domination. I mean, no one saw this coming.
No,
absolutely not.
I mean, the Eagles outscored the Chiefs in the first half, and the Chiefs had all game. So
right.
I honestly did not see it coming. I think everybody was like, it's Patrick Mahomes. You can't bet against the guy until he proves you wrong. Well, he proved you wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people are coming at Patrick Mahomes like legacy. I really don't think Patrick Mahomes lost this Super Bowl in a standpoint of his career. When you look at the winners and losers, I wouldn't consider Patrick Mahomes a loser here. I mean, he still threw 3 touchdowns, 257 yards. Yes, some of those are garbage time points, but Chiefs could not establish the run game yesterday.
Right.
Mahomes had no time. He was sacked 6 times. He also did a good amount on his legs to kind of try and help the team. 2 costly drops. So, all in all, when you look at it, it's not so much, Mahomes played awful. I think he did what he could with what he had.
I also think the fact that he got this Chiefs team to 3 in a row in itself is a legacy builder.
Yeah, to have the opportunity.
Yeah, even if he did get blown out in this one, like he got them there 3 times in a row. Yeah. I mean, that's a legacy in itself.
They only lost one game this season to the Bills. And I mean, it's kind of like the Patriots when they played the Giants in the Super Bowl. It's like everyone was expecting the Patriots to just go undefeated, win that entire season, just absolutely smoke the Giants, and then it's just not what happened. At least that Super Bowl was a little closer. Yeah. I'll say that.
The guy's been in the league for 7 years.
Yeah.
When you look at 7 years, 7 AFC Championship appearances, he is 5-2 in those games, and he is 3-2 in the Super Bowl. Like, how can you say his GOAT debate is put on hold? No.
Yeah, I think
he's
you're right.
still relevant. He's still right in that mix. He's going to be a threat for years to come. This was a down year for the Chiefs, and they still won 15 games.
Right.
Everybody doubted them this year. They still won 15 games, and they made it to the Super Bowl. I don't understand. Patrick Mahomes has totally changed the culture in Kansas City, and they're going to be a threat for years to come.
Where does Patrick Mahomes sit for you all time?
I mean, until he passes Brady and Reigns,
he's not.
He's got to be 2.
2?
You think he's better than Peyton Manning?
Yes.
Right now. Peyton Manning has 5 MVPs.
And sure. Mahomes will have that for years to come.
I would say as of right now, though. I mean, sure, like his future, he could be even past Brady, but I mean, he can't. I wouldn't say he's better than Manning right now. I don't even know if he's better than Steve Young right now or Joe Montana. Sorry.
I was gonna say 3rd right now, behind Montana and Brady.
It's still Brady. I don't know. Like, I just feel like Mahomes is working at a level we've never seen before.
I guess. I think.
I mean, 5 Super Bowl appearances in 7 years.
And that O-line, it wasn't good all season.
No.
I mean,
he didn't have a receiving core last season.
Yeah. He didn't have a real receiving core this season.
If Rashee Rice is not hurt, I think it's maybe a little bit different too in that game. So
yeah, I mean, I really like the Eagles secondary. It probably would have been a little bit closer, but the O-line is the biggest thing to take out of this. I mean, when they played the Buccaneers, that game was brutal too. It was same thing. The O-line just gave up on him. He was
right.
In that game, I would say he looked more impressive than in this game yesterday.
I last night I felt like you were seeing glimpses of that Buccaneers game, that Buccaneers Super Bowl, with Mahomes and like the frustration he was feeling during that game. I feel like it was very similar to the Brady Buccaneer team.
Yeah. I mean, when
just
you
the
see
way
the O-line
pocket was collapsing.
Yeah.
He had no room to step up, and every time he tried to step up, he got sacked. So
and I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire was their running back that year, and he was just not that good.
Yeah. I do remember that. I mean, when you look at, I guess, when you ask about the all-time conversation, like Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, I mean, they're 2 of the greatest to ever do it. But I think you still got to put Mahomes in that conversation. I know it's early. He's only been in the league 7 years, but I don't know. He's still got, 10, 11 more years of playing?
Yeah, probably at least.
He's got to win at least 4 or 5 more Super Bowls in that time.
You would think. I mean,
at the pace he's at,
At the pace he's at, he has the chance to be one of the best. I still don't think he's better than Peyton Manning yet, just accomplishments-wise.
Okay.
Again, 5 MVPs is just that's a lot. It's the most ever. I don't know how you can say that he's better than him right now. Give it a few years, maybe that's the case. Manning only had 2 Super Bowls. Mahomes already has 3.
Yeah.
So I guess you could argue that, but he's definitely not better than Brady. I think you could make an argument for he's better than Manning, but I don't think he is. And he's tied up there with Joe Montana, I would say right now.
So who beats the Chiefs in the AFC Championship next year?
Next year? I mean,
if you look at the history,
does anybody have to beat them?
If you look at the history, I mean, it's Chiefs lose in the AFC Championship, then they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Then they lose in the Super Bowl. And then somebody beats them in the AFC Championship.
Again, it's like a 7-year history, but yeah.
It's only, So I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, they win the Super Bowl They now lose the Super Bowl. Who's going to beat them in the AFC Championship?
The Buffalo Bills, baby. No. They're going to do it next year after Josh Allen climbed the mountain, got the MVP. He's going to get the win against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs next year. Mark it down right here, right now.
We've been saying that for the last
February 10th.
6 years.
It's our year.
This is the year.
I honestly, it sounds like Bills fans and the Cowboys fans. It's our year.
The Bills are the
Cowboys.
Our year. The Bills are kind of the Cowboys.
It's our year.
But I think the only team that has proven to be able to beat them is the Cincinnati Bengals. So maybe them. I mean,
I don't think you can count Joe Burrow out of that.
Yeah,
that conversation of top quarterbacks in the league either.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think
he just had a horrible team around him.
Right, I mean, his defense just doesn't exist. But he, like, if you give him a good defense and he goes back into that scenario where he can be in the playoffs and he can make a run for the championship, I think he could easily beat the Chiefs. I mean, not easily, but I think that they have a chance to beat the Chiefs. They've shown over and over and over that they have the Chiefs' number, so it's not out of the question.
But again, in all seriousness, I feel like this year was the closest the Bills have gotten to beating him. They had the opportunity late in the game and just couldn't capitalize on it. So I know that it's the Bills fan every year is, this is the year, this is the year, this is the year. But I feel like this was the closest they've been.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But kind of switching gears here.
Yeah, it was definitely the closest, but it's still nothing. It's the same thing every year. Anyway.
Yeah, switching gears here, though, I mean, the Chiefs shut down Saquon Barkley. As good as everyone wanted to say Saquon was, when you actually look at his numbers, it was over half of his yards. I got to find the exact stat, but over half his yards came from teams that were below 500 this season. And the rest, he was only averaging like 90 yards per game against teams that were above 500.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines. And, I mean, 57 yards last night. I mean, was he really that effective? I mean, Jalen Hurts had 72 yards on the ground.
No, I don't think Saquon was. I mean, that's why he didn't win MVP, obviously. But he still put up. They still had to be scared of the run game. I think that's the biggest thing that Saquon definitely added last night. And I think that's the big thing that Jalen Hurts adds all season, really, is I don't know a single time where the Eagles don't run play action, where they don't run RPOs.
That's what I'm saying.
And so just the thought where it's like, okay, well, he could run, or Saquon could run, that puts defenses really on their hind heels. They don't know how to deal with that, and that's what makes them so scary. And that's the biggest thing that Saquon added last night.
Yeah,
and that's all he needed to do. I mean,
to the people trying to say that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, that is ridiculous because he is not. He is not.
Can you name? Oh, okay, well.
I feel like
five quarterbacks better than Jalen Hurts.
Mahomes.
Okay.
Allen.
Okay.
Burrow.
Okay.
Jackson.
Yeah.
And then I will say 5 through 10. There's a large gap, and then there's 5 through 10. I think
those.
I think 5 through 10 is where you have your Matt Stafford.
5? You're saying Matt Stafford's at 5?
No particular order.
Okay.
But I think 5 through 10, you have your Matt Stafford. You got Jared Goff probably in that mix
maybe
somewhere.
Jordan Love.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
After the year Jordan Love had, I don't know if I could really put him too far up.
He's probably bottom 10.
Yeah, I would say he's towards the bottom half, but I think Jaden Daniels might be taking that 5th spot right now after the rookie year he had.
Are we missing someone really obvious?
I don't think so. I mean,
would you say Josh?
Yeah, Josh in the top Josh, 4. Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes. That's top 4. And not in any order.
I mean,
that's your top 4.
You can't forget about Dak Prescott when he's healthy. I mean, that 2023 season, he got MVP votes.
But Dak is not. No. Let me tell you. And you can ask anybody. I'm a big Dak supporter. I really am. He had a really good season last year. He could have been close to MVP.
He had MVP votes.
Yes.
He got hurt this year.
Yeah.
Also, we had no run game to support him. Tell me right now, if you switch Dak and Jalen Hurts, who gets better, the Cowboys or the Eagles?
Well, only because I guess it's a hard question because are they building around that kind of quarterback scheme? Because right now,
I think any quarterback could go to the Eagles and play well.
Jalen Hurts' legs, we just talked about this, are so important to the Eagles.
They are, but at the same time, his passing game is very effective. And I think if Dak Prescott's on the Eagles and he has a Saquon Barkley, look at him with Zeke. Yeah. Look at his numbers with Ezekiel Elliott. Look at Ryan Tannehill's numbers with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill was not a good quarterback by any means. He was a mid quarterback, and he just looked like the best out there because number one, he was throwing to A.J. Brown, which Jalen Hurts is doing, and he has a top maybe one. He is the 1A, 1B running back in his backfield in Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, just like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it's compelling. I really like Jalen Hurts. I like his legs. I like his ability to just be that dual threat. I don't think Dak really offers that, and I think so. I don't know if the Eagles would get better. I don't think, honest to God, I don't think Jalen Hurts is worse than Dak Prescott.
Really? You think he's better?
I do think Jalen Hurts is better. And he does make mistakes. Not very often. I mean, the Eagles made one mistake in the entire playoffs, and it was the one interception that he threw off. I mean, there was pressure from Nick Bolton right in his face. He got hit on the throw. It was a bad throw. He threw an interception. Yeah, but that is their only mistake.
I mean, but if that, I feel like people would only, I guess that interception didn't come back to haunt them, but that was awful.
It was a bad throw.
There was not even a receiver within 5 yards of that throw.
But if you're saying that, then, I mean, Mahomes threw two that were really bad. I mean, I don't know. I can't say right now that Jalen Hurts is worse than Dak Prescott.
I think Jalen Hurts he's very good on his feet. I do not think he has arm talent, though. And somebody tried to combat me with arm talent.
Yeah, the Devontae Smith throw was really nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dak has really good arm talent, but I think Jalen Hurts definitely gets the.
Well, I think when you have all day to throw too, that helps. Like when you're not under pressure. I mean, he could sit there. He could go out to lunch.
He has the best O-line in the league, besides 100%. Maybe the Lions. Yeah.
Now, I guess though the question is the running enough, though, if he doesn't have that arm talent, is the running enough to help him over Dak Prescott?
Yeah, if that's in my opinion. I
don't think so.
I think his dual threat.
I think people forget that Dak was a threat on his legs until his injury, too. I think 2023 was the first time we really saw Dak break out of the pocket and use his legs because he finally got comfortable again, but then he got hurt in 24.
Would you list Dak as a mobile quarterback?
I would, yeah. I still would.
Okay.
I think he's finally getting comfortable after his leg injury. Because up until that injury back, I think it was 2022 or 21 when his ankle literally fell off.
Yeah.
The ankle cramp, as Tony Romo.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just a cramp. No, his ankle fell off his foot, Tony. But up until then, he was a threat on his legs. I mean, I would have to look at the rushing yard stats. I mean, I could probably pull it up. On
the one website that I found, it says Hurts has 605 rushing yards compared to Dak's 242 rushing yards. I don't know.
That was in 2023.
That's
2023, yeah.
So, I mean, 2019, 277 yards on the ground, which is not he's not like a scrambler like Lamar Jackson, like Jalen Hurts, like Josh Allen. But at the same time, I mean, he gets it done on his legs.
So you're saying Dak is the fifth best quarterback in the league then?
I wouldn't say he's fifth.
Okay.
I think there's honestly... There's a big gap between 4 and 5. I think everybody in the world would agree with that.
You, yeah.
I think 5 through, I would have to list it out, but I think Dak is a similar guy to Stafford, like Goff. Mm-hmm. I would put Jalen in that category of maybe it's 5A, B, C, D, D, and et cetera.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
Okay. So
just because I think Baker has very poor decision-making, and I think Jalen Hurts is a little better in that category, and I will say that.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Jaden Daniels?
No.
Really?
I think Jaden Daniels showed a lot of promise in his arm talent. I think I would even take Caleb Williams over Jalen Hurts.
Really? That's crazy.
I think the arm talent is unreal.
That's crazy.
I think the potential is unreal with those guys. I think if you put them both on the Eagles, I would love to see what happens.
I guess that's true. I mean, that's
I mean, they're both rookies, too, so it's hard to, really judge because I would even take C.J. Stroud. But he had that sophomore slump, and everyone's putting question marks.
This season, not this season.
I think C.J. Stroud is only going to get better.
If you're talking about for a franchise, which quarterback would you rather have? Sure, you could say Jaden Daniels. I think right now though, there's no way Jaden Daniels is better than Jalen Hurts.
Not right now, but I think if you're trying
for the future, sure.
If you're trying to win multiple Super Bowls, I'm taking.
Yeah, but this season alone Jalen Hurts I think is my 5.
Okay. Based off the season, I guess you can put it in. I mean, he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
I would love to see Jalen Hurts replicate that, though.
Yeah.
Give me another season of Jalen Hurts putting up those kind of numbers, making those kind of plays, and maybe I'll put some respect on his name.
We might see it.
He's the only player who lost in their Super Bowl debut and then went back to the Super Bowl ever, all time.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I love it. So
yeah, I think it's a tough conversation. I think besides for the Giants, those 3 NFC East quarterbacks, you could argue any of them being better than the other.
They're gonna get Shador and everything.
So what's next for the Eagles? Because there's not really a world where you can get better. You have the weapons on offense. You have the threats on defense. Where do you even go with these draft picks?
That's a really good question because I was asking the same thing last night. Their pick 32. I don't know if anyone is really worth a first-round pick at that point. They could trade out. I guess their biggest need right now would be edge rusher.
Okay.
Technically. But their edge rushers are still so good. Like, you saw them get 7 sacks last night.
Yeah.
So it's Brandon Graham's retiring. I would assume he's like 37. And I guess this was his last game. I think they would have to go edge rusher. They run a really good like outside linebacker edge rush. So they don't use like defensive ends as much, I guess, if you're talking like position wise.
Yeah.
But if they had a good edge rusher, they have Josh Sweat, but Josh Sweat is probably going to leave them. Teams are willing to pay him so much, so they're probably going to need to draft someone to fill his shoes. Excuse me. So that's where I would say, if the Eagles want to like go out and try to draft some, they'd go for an edge rusher, I guess. Maybe they get Myles Garrett. And they just keep getting better.
If the
trade away all those picks and go get Myles Garrett instead.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a real possibility. That doesn't seem too crazy with the picks they have. Is there really anybody you're going to get?
That's what I mean.
That impactful in the draft.
If the Browns, they want. I think what I saw was that they want a couple of first rounds and some like young talent.
But if you can go up to them and say, "Here's 10 picks," I know that's.
Yeah, we're not going to give them 10 picks.
Give them a certain amount of picks in a draft. Like, would they say no, really, to that many picks? I don't know.
I have no idea. But they're also late round picks. If you're getting the Eagles picks, you're picking 20 beyond every time.
True. That is very true.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you guys, because Jalen Hurts has won the Super Bowl this year, does that make him... Does that put him further up above some guys like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson, like Joe Burrow? Does it or no?
Are you saying in terms of like legacy or in terms of like talent?
Let's talk in terms of legacy, because talent-wise, no. But in legacy-wise, whose career would you rather have? It has to be, right?
I think I would take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't. I don't. 3 MVPs over 1 Super Bowl. Or 2 MVPs, excuse me. That's a hard decision, I guess.
But
maybe it's not.
Is what people remember.
Exactly.
People don't remember MVP season. They remember this guy took us to the Super Bowl. This guy won us the Super Bowl. I feel like having 1 Super Bowl, having 3 MVPs, I'm taking the Super Bowl.
That's true.
Any day of the week, personally.
Yeah, I think it would put him over. Lamar, Burrow, Allen. It makes him the, I guess, second most legacy. I don't. What's the
second
word for that?
Second best legacy? I don't even
second
know.
In the league right now.
I don't know. Like, you can't put him over like Stafford.
You can't put him over Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, obviously. But yeah. I forgot about him. But he's also like
so top 5 legacy in the league.
You can't put him over Russell Wilson. Can't put him over.
What about Stafford? Stafford won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I would. Stafford?
No, only because Stafford spent most of his years in Detroit, where he won like no playoff games, virtually.
What about Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, yeah, you definitely put him up there. I would say Russell Wilson is higher than Jalen Hurts.
He won the Super Bowl?
He did, and he was a bad play call away from winning 2 Super Bowls. So,
yeah.
I'm looking at it. The only active quarterbacks, really, that have won the Super Bowl is Aaron Rodgers. I guess Joe Flacco. I don't really know what's going on with him. Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Did Russell Wilson ever win Super Bowl MVP? No, I don't think he did. So
no.
Jalen Hurts won Super Bowl MVP. you could put him up there. Stafford didn't win MVP either. So would you say Jalen Hurts is above Stafford and above Russell Wilson because of that one Super Bowl MVP? Where none of the other players did like overly well.
Stafford didn't have A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yeah,
that's an argument.
He collected all of the stones for the Infinity Gauntlet, winning that. That was the last thing he needed to be legit. I don't know what to have that legacy. I think that the Super Bowl was the last thing he needed.
Here's my question, I guess. Will Jalen Hurts, do you think, ever realistically win MVP?
The league?
Yeah,
no.
League MVP. With all the other talent,
because he is too not in the spotlight because of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. You can't
Saquon Barkley makes him and that team better.
You can't say he's the MVP if Saquon's on the team.
I know Josh won it this year, but Lamar is so good.
Yeah.
It will be that way for years.
Even Joe Burrow.
But is Lamar really that good if he can't win the Super Bowl?
Lamar's really good in the regular season.
Let's
just put it that way, I guess.
Regular season merchant.
Lamar just hasn't won a big game when it matters.
It's
not all
Josh.
on him. No, Josh has made it. I guess you could say the same
can't get past
Lamar.
Neither of them can get past Mahomes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, in the AFC, it just doesn't matter. You just get
Kansas City.
Waltzed by the Kansas City Chiefs every single time.
Very fair.
I guess if, let's say the Chiefs were in the NFC. They don't have to deal with him. Who's the best quarterback in the AFC? Is it Josh or is it Lamar? Is it Burrow?
Burrow, because he's beating the Chiefs.
I guess.
Burrow's the only one of those three to be in the Super Bowl, and arguably Burrow did it with the worst team.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is pretty good, but...
but that O-line, when he made the Super Bowl, that O-line was awful.
The O-line is
It was probably worse than the Chiefs.
That is why they lost the game. Aaron Donald just sacked him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not taking away from Aaron Donald. He's probably the greatest defensive player to ever do it.
Another thing to note when I pulled this up. I know earlier we were, not to get too off topic, but earlier we were talking about Super Bowl quarterbacks or just all-time quarterback rankings.
Right.
Mahomes' second most appearances, tied with John Elway in Super Bowl appearances.
Second most appearances?
Yeah. Behind Brady of quarterbacks, of starts.
Really?
Yeah, Peyton's been to 4 Super Bowls. Montana's been to 4.
Yeah.
Montana and Bradshaw
has
4-0 in those.
4, yeah.
Just to note, but I just wanted to bring that up.
But isn't the ultimate goal to get to the final game, to get to the championship? So I think getting there is a lot. I know that 4-0 is pretty impressive, but I don't know.
It is a team sport.
But I think if Montana or Bradshaw had to play this Eagles team, I think the Eagles would beat them in all of their Super Bowl wins.
How many Super Bowl MVPs does Mahomes have?
3.
He does have 3?
Yep.
Okay, so Joe Montana has 3. They won 4 times, but he has 3 Super Bowl MVPs. They're very similar, and Mahomes is only 29.
Yeah.
That's rough. Or not rough, it's scary.
Brady obviously had to be happy because if Mahomes won that, he would have been over halfway to Brady's total.
Right.
But do you think Mahomes passes Brady in either all-time wins or all-time appearances? He's halfway there. He's at 5. Brady had 10.
Do I think in his career he passes them?
Yeah.
The easiest answer would be yes, I would think, right? But if you look at the Chiefs, I feel like they're kind of on a downward spike.
Okay.
I'm not talking about how much they've won. Obviously, they're 15-1 this season, but I'm saying their team is slowly getting worse and worse and worse.
They won every single game this year by 1 score.
Yeah.
Right.
And by a botched snap, a blocked field goal.
The only game,
Isaiah Likely's toe being too big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say one of the only games, there might have been another one. The only game I can remember them scoring even above 30 points was the AFC Championship.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most points they scored all year, yeah.
And their defense is so good. As long as Steve Spagnuolo's there, they're fine, right? But I think their team is just slowly getting worse. They lost L'Jarius Sneed. Chris Jones is getting older. They don't really have a good wide receiver one right now. Their O-line is kind of slowly getting worse and worse. The team's kind of falling apart. I mean, the Chiefs obviously haven't stopped winning, but the team is realistically falling apart. Any other team would get worse, but not the Chiefs somehow. I don't know. So, but Brady did it with a lot of nobodies as well.
That is very true. I mean,
so it's hard to say. I would imagine.
But he always had
Mahomes
that one weapon, whether it was Gronk or Moss.
Yeah.
Mahomes' weapon has always been Travis Kelce, and that might have been his last game last night.
I do think Kelsey's done after this year.
Who's his target now? So I don't know. Because he always had Gronk or some safety blanket target that he could get the ball to. So I don't know. I'm interested to see who steps up in that role for the Chiefs.
Xavier Worthy, he had 157 yards last night.
I still am not sold on him. I know that's crazy. I know it's crazy. That sounds crazy to say. I'm just not sold on Xavier Worthy yet. I mean, maybe that's just, I don't know. I really don't like his wide receiver archetype. He's not very physical. I don't think he has the best hands. I've seen him, sideline catches aren't his thing. I mean, he's run the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL history, NFL Combine history. But the only time where I really saw them target him deep was the last few weeks. Maybe that's a Chiefs scheming thing, but I really can't think of a time during the regular season where Xavier Worthy had a 60-yard catch. You know what I'm saying? Where you're the fastest guy in history. How are you not getting past these guys? I don't know. That's just.
But also, is it a situation of we don't necessarily need it right now? Why would we waste that play call, waste that play to do that?
Yeah.
When we're winning games still, we're able to do our other offensive schemes. I don't know. I guess that's play calling.
Back to what I said earlier. The only game where the Chiefs scored more than 30 points was the AFC Conference Championship. It said NFL Conference Championship, but it's the AFC Conference Championship, which is crazy. I mean, they went 15-1 and they didn't score over 30 points once.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a really tough call. I mean, do you think? I think I know your answer, but do you think Mahomes is going to pass Brady?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I figured.
The pace he is on, I really just don't think. But the other thing is, you got to think about Brady wasn't competing with. I mean, I guess he was. I mean, Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning were two of the best to ever do it during Brady's time. But I mean, Mahomes has Allen, Burrow, and Jackson, who are highly regarded as the best quarterbacks in the league right now, with him. So it's going to be a tough battle for him to get by all three of them.
Yeah,
going forward.
I also think Brady and Mahomes, at least previous years, suffered from the very easy division.
Yeah.
I mean, even maybe, I wouldn't go as far as to say conference, but very easy division.
But the AFC West is only getting better.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the Broncos are very good, the Chargers are very good. But
and and the Raiders got Pete Carroll.
Right. Yeah, right. They're still the Raiders. But I do think Brady had to deal with the terrible Bills, the terrible Jets, and
Dolphins.
The pretty terrible Dolphins for most of his career.
The Ryan Tannehill Dolphins.
Yeah, and he was. I mean, the thing with Brady, and that's something that I think is really funny, is his playoff wins aren't the highest because he always got the first seed. He doesn't have I don't know if he has the most playoff wins in NFL history because he always got the first seed. So he only had to win 2 games. But he's been in 10 Super Bowls. So
Mahomes had an awful night.
Yeah.
Last night. He 2 interceptions, and they lose by a lot. How do you think he responds?
We'll get him next year.
The next one?
Yeah. We'll get him next year, I guess. It's Patrick Mahomes. I really can never count him out. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that his team just got destroyed in the Super Bowl, and we're automatically already back to he's gonna win again. He's going to go do it again.
He's probably the favorite to win it next year. I won't lie.
I mean, he's probably the favorite for NFL MVP. You name it. I mean, he's going to be right in that conversation. Now, if there is a team that takes down the Chiefs or in the playoffs, maybe they don't even go to the Super Bowl, but they knock out the Chiefs, who would that be?
I do think it's the Bengals. I want to say the Bills. In the bottom of my heart, I want to say the Bills. It is not going to happen. It is the same thing every year. Something about Andy Reid just out-coaches Sean McDermott every single year. And I honestly don't think we'll ever beat them.
Okay.
At least in the playoffs. We're going to beat them in the regular season. I'm sure about that.
And that's playoffs the Bills Super Bowl.
Lose. Yeah.
They celebrate.
Right.
Right, Gavin?
Yeah. As the heartbeat of the fan base here.
I guess, yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'd say the Bills will beat them, but I feel like that's a cop-out answer of something that just isn't going to actually happen, but something I want to happen instead. I don't know.
Nothing about the Bills or the Ravens has proven to me that they will be able to beat this Chiefs team.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I feel like they just don't change anything. They run it back, the same thing, change a couple pieces, and it's still not good enough, and then they'll lose in the playoffs to Mahomes.
Can we talk about, I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about this, but Brandon Beane's drafting the past, 3 years?
We've talked about it. I've heard you talk with some people
do you know who our last 3 draft picks were, Ryan?
Coleman.
First round draft picks, I'm sorry.
Well, you traded away.
Traded away, so he was technically...
Okay, he's the 33rd pick. It's pretty close.
Kincaid, right?
Yep.
He was the first.
Yep. You're missing one more. He had a really good game against the Chiefs.
Kaiir Elam.
Yeah. Kaiir Elam,
our guy.
Dalton Kincaid, and Keon Coleman. Mark my words.
What?
Those 3 are just terrible picks.
You don't think Kincaid was a good pick?
We have,
But, okay.
What's his face?
I think
Dawson
Kincaid,
Knox?
Yeah.
Right. Listen, I think Kincaid is a good player. Don't get me wrong. Do I think we should have traded up in the first round to get him? No. We could have got, Brian Branch, and we would have been much better off. We could have got, Sam Laporta and been better off. I don't think he's worth a first-round pick. Kaiir Elam it surely isn't. And I don't even think Keon Coleman is worth as high as a pick as we got him for.
So if you're the Bills now, who are you considering with your first-round pick? And without trading away to the Chiefs.
So right now, what? We have the 30th pick? Yeah. So
yeah, do you think, what position do you guys think you go?
I would go DB. I would go corner. Our secondary was terrible. But then again, our nose tackles were terrible. The whole defense is just terrible. I don't... If the Bills make an offensive pick, I think the season's a wash. Okay. I really do. Either we go and get a safety like Javon Holland, or they go and get a corner. Maybe, I don't know. Who's a free agent? Is Kevin King still a free agent? I don't know. You go and get someone like that, and then maybe you can go offense in the draft, or you get offense in the free agency, and you draft Siobhan Revel late round, and get him in the draft.
I feel like this year proved that you don't need a great receiving core for Allen. I don't feel like anybody was a superstar necessarily this year.
Yeah, I would
for him on the offensive side. So James Cook obviously helped him out a lot, but I feel like the area that needs most help is on the defensive side. I feel like it was week over week that the safeties were getting cooked.
Yeah.
Every week, and there was no solution to it. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I love Damar Hamlin, but he is not a starting safety in this league.
And neither is Kaiir Elam, who got put into action in the playoffs.
Kaiir wasn't starting, and he should never start. But in who do you think the Bills should target between Mac Hollins and Amari Cooper? Who do you think is more important to re-sign?
Mac Hollins or Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
Hollins.
Hollins is young.
Not even close.
Yeah, I think
close.
So too.
The Amari Cooper experiment did not work.
It did not work, no. They used him once every 3 games.
All right, not to get too off topic, but let's close out with our final Super Bowl thoughts, and then I want to preview a little bit of the draft, maybe the first 5 picks in our opinion, because I know we're going to probably do a draft episode anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's finish off some closing thoughts on yesterday's game.
The Eagles are really good. I think. I didn't know that they were going to win, but I thought that they were going to win because I knew that their roster was so stacked. but I didn't think it was going to be like this. I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was.
I knew it was going to be a high-scoring game, but I did not think it would be lopsided like that.
I said 34-24. That's kind of close.
Solid pick. I said 34-31.
Right.
I think it was a shock. I mean, all I've heard was how good the Kansas City Chiefs were this entire season, and then to watch them get blown out until they started scoring, waste minute points in the fourth. It was shocking to see them lose by that much and feel that far of a difference. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What about you? I'm shocked. I mean, I really thought it was the Chiefs Super Bowl to lose. So the fact that they lost, I mean, I'm just unreal. I just did not see it happening.
And I guess, I'm sure as a Cowboys fan, you're, sick to your stomach.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
It's bad because I really do hate the Eagles and I hate the fans, but man, I just have words for it. I'm just disgusted.
Devontae Smith was the first Alabama player to ever score a touchdown in a Super Bowl.
I hate him too.
Really, seems really
and
surprising.
it is really surprising. And Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, they were the first duo to win a national championship together and win a Super Bowl together.
Oh, that's a little cool storyline.
Dude, I asked Devontae Smith. Let me know if you guys think this is a bad question. I asked Devontae Smith. I asked him if he would trade his national championship for a Super Bowl, not saying you don't have a chance to win, but just in general, would you give up your national championship for a Super Bowl? He goes, why do I have to give it up? I go.
It's just a question.
It's just a question. He goes, nah, we're just gonna win on Sunday, and I was like, all right, bro.
Would you give up?
Not feeling the question.
He was not feeling the question.
Would you give up your Heisman? I mean, he's a Heisman winner.
Yeah, you guys should ask that
for a Super Bowl. I guess.
Why would he have to? Why does he
He's not going to give it up, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's a fun question.
Yeah, he's had a really decorated career for being, wide receiver 1B, as they call him.
So. Wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Disrespect him.
Yeah. Okay.
Disrespect him. But all right, let's hop into a little bit of draft because it is coming up. We are 2 months out from the NFL draft. Should we do first 3 picks or each?
I can do whatever. I'm down to do whatever.
I don't know too much. I only know. I think I know my first 3 picks on what will happen.
Okay. So,
I think there's only 3 guys that will go in the top 3, and I'd be shocked otherwise.
Okay. So who are your top 3 then?
So my top 3 is and in no particular order yet, but Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, and Shedeur Sanders.
Interesting.
I think those are the top 3. I think no particular order that they'll go in, but I think if I had to guess, I think the Titans go Cam Ward, which I don't think is the right pick because I don't think he's a first overall pick.
No.
I think the Browns. This is where I teeter with the Browns, but I think the Browns might trade away that pick. I think a lot of teams are going to try and trade up to get Shedeur.
Yeah.
Raiders being one of them, and I think maybe the Raiders lock up that second round pick. They take Shedeur, and then the Giants are kind of left with they don't really know what to do, and they go Travis Hunter. Those are my top 3.
I don't know. I don't think the Browns go QB. I don't think the Titans even go QB. I think either of the top 2 picks could trade out. The Giants like where they're at, and I think Joe Shane is dumb enough to make a bad QB pick.
Yeah. Do you think Cam Ward? Would you draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders over any of the 6 taken last year in the first 12 picks? So you got all right. So I'll just do it for you guys.
No.
Caleb Williams or Cam Ward or Shedeur?
No, obviously Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels. J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy. It's close.
He hasn't played yet, so
you know what? Yeah. Honestly, I'll say Cam Ward over J.J. McCarthy.
Wow. Okay. Drake May.
Yeah, Drake May.
Who else? Michael Penix.
That's an easy option for me. Michael Penix.
And then Bo Nix.
I'm taking Bo Nix, yeah. The only one where I don't know is J.J. McCarthy.
I think that's a little unfair to J.J., though, that you immediately doubt him.
I'm not doubting him. I guess I'm not doubting him based on...
He's been doubting him. This isn't a new
thing. I doubted him before.
I don't understand the disrespect.
He's just not that good.
I disagree with you.
He won at Michigan, and I know you're a Michigan fan, so that's it's a tough thing to hear.
But Cowboys
I just don't I just don't think he's that talented.
Look at Justin Herbert's numbers from this season. Then look at J.J. McCarthy's numbers from his championship-winning season at Michigan. Then talk to me. There's a trend there. It's the head coach.
Hold on.
Now, I think if J.J. starts this year, does not get hurt, he starts, I think the Vikings have a very similar season. Maybe they lose a few more games than they did this year, and that's just due to his inexperience as a quarterback. But I think that Jim Harbaugh is not a quarterback's coach. And I think I think he's only going to put more numbers up, and he's only going to improve.
So you're saying
Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer, so
yes, he is.
I think he's going to only improve in that Vikings offense.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of his coming out of Michigan. I don't know. Just not huge on him. I don't think he had a 3rd-round grade after the national championship. I don't know how he got picked in the 1st round, but it's just not my. It's an experiment. We'll see how it works. I think they're going to run with him next season. I think they have to now.
Yeah,
but we'll see how it works. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I just don't think J.J. McCarthy's that good. His arm talent really it turns me off. It does.
Valid, I guess.
That's all I can say. I mean, I know we were talking about Jalen Hurts earlier, and his arm talent isn't amazing, but I just don't think J.J. McCarthy has. I don't know, and the injury really doesn't help. But I know sitting.
No, because he did have his legs, which was one of his strengths, and he loses out on that.
And sitting a year always helps a quarterback, and he has a great head coach. Yeah, I think anybody in that Viking scheme does really well because of the coaching, and I think they also do really well because they have Justin Jefferson.
I mean, one thing to know on J.J. McCarthy, he just doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, 22-4. Touchdown to interception ratio, and something to note, 3 of them came in one game against Bowling Green. So he really doesn't turn the ball over.
3 interceptions against Bowling Green?
In one game. It was early on in the season. They still won 31-6.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was the main focus of that Michigan offense.
No, he wasn't, and I think that's the entire focus of the Jim Harbaugh offense. He focused the running back. So I don't think JJ's a bad quarterback by any means, but he doesn't turn the ball over when he does throw it, and he completes most of his passes. So
let me get this straight. Jalen Hurts does the exact same thing, and you are willing to go out and hate him. But if JJ McCarthy does it, okay.
He's not.
You're misinterpreting. No, you're misinterpreting what I was saying. No, I think J.J. McCarthy will have a bigger role with the Minnesota Vikings, and that's why I think he's going to be good. Put Jalen Hurts on the Minnesota Vikings without a run game, I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good.
Well, are you saying take away Aaron Jones?
Sure.
So take away Aaron Jones, you think J.J. McCarthy...
Well, no, I don't think you have to take away Aaron Jones.
Okay.
Aaron Jones is not Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry.
He's not, but he is very good.
He's solid.
He's up there in the top 10, top 15.
Definitely, but I don't think he's that top running back like the Eagles have, like now the Ravens have in Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Because I think it's those 2 are at the top, then a healthy Christian McCaffrey, and then I think there's a large gap until the next running back.
It's really hard to tell because
you can't tell me like Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, like those guys are up near there. James
Jahmyr
Cook.
Gibbs, yes. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is top 5. I don't know if David Montgomery.
I would say he's top 5, but I don't think he's anywhere near that 1A, 1B.
Yeah, I mean, not Jahmyr Gibbs. Jalen Hurts plays really just mistake-free football. When they ask him
when you
to
have
pass,
all day to throw, I would too.
Yeah, when they ask him to pass, he does it really well. He barely throws interceptions. He has a couple fumbles every so often. But that's what they ask him to do. They just ask him to throw the ball every so often. And sure, he has A.J. Brown. He has a really good line.
So Jalen Hurts is J.J. McCarthy. That's what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm saying. Sure. When they ask him to throw the ball...
let me tell you, J.J. McCarthy doesn't wear green, so...
Yeah, that's true.
So he gets
We'll
a pass.
see. I will.
I'm just excited to see what he can do because
I will see what he does, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not really high on him right now.
Okay.
If you want to talk about draft, I do think Cam Ward is more exciting to me.
I think Cam Ward is not that good.
I don't know. I haven't seen either of them play. It's really hard to say. I think Cam Ward's story is really great. I think the way he came up, he led Miami to a really really good season. Let's just make that clear.
They had season on the line, though, he couldn't get the job done.
The defense couldn't get the job done. True. I mean, if he played on Michigan...
That's true.
You switch J.J. McCarthy and Cam Ward.
No, I'll give you that.
Right? I think,
but the fact that when we went through the list, Cam Ward or this guy, Cam Ward or that guy, that we took 5 quarterbacks that got drafted last year
100%.
over him, that worries me.
I will say every day of the week that this is one of the weakest draft classes I've seen in a very long time.
I think at the quarterback position, I think there's other strengths to it, though.
There's defensive strengths, yeah. I really like Will Johnson. I really like the wide receivers, Tatwara McMillan, Luther Burden are really good.
I think Abdul Carter is a stud.
Abdul Carter he's going to be a monster, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But
what about Mason
honestly,
Graham?
Yeah. I mean, all of them are the defense is good. Malachi Starks, Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle.
Do you think the Cowboys take Ashton Genty?
I do think they take Ashton Genty.
And I hate taking running backs in the first round, but I think we got to take a gamble because we have the receiving core.
Fix it, yeah.
We need a run game. We need to establish something. So
and don't take this the wrong way. I think Jerry Jones is dumb enough to do it too.
Yep.
I really like.
I don't want to take him, but I've almost accepted my fate that I don't have a choice.
Yeah, I really don't think it is a bad pick. But it's
a reach with that pick, though.
It is the pick that makes the most sense. Yeah.
But I think it's a reach.
It is a reach.
At pick 12?
Just a little bit, but it is a reach. I really like Genty, but pick 12 is a little high. I don't even think the Titans go quarterback. I think they're going to take,
Abdul Carter?
I want them to take Abdul Carter. They just got a new GM, actually. But I think drafting Travis Hunter is going to be a mistake. Whoever gets him, it's going to be a mistake.
Why is that?
When you think about, do you really think he's going to play both positions?
No, there's no. It's undoable in the NFL.
So let's say he plays wide receiver. Is he the best receiver in the draft?
No.
Is he the best corner in the draft?
No.
Then why is he a top 3 pick?
You're so right.
I don't understand that at all.
No, that's actually a great point.
I don't understand the hype around Travis Hunter right now. I think
it's the expectation. Yes. He's getting drafted as an athlete. Like yes. I think it's the expectation that maybe he can do both. I think long term he won't be able to do it. Maybe for 1 year they'll try it out and realize it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, he's not the best quarterback. He's not the best wide receiver or cornerback. So yeah, that's tough.
He's a freak athlete, but first overall, come on.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I would say they go Abdul Carter. Do I think they're going to take Travis Hunter? Probably. And then the Browns, they have to fill in for Myles Garrett. So I think they do go Abdul Carter.
I like that pick.
And then the Giants have their choice between Shedeur or Cam Ward. I think they're going to go Shedeur. I think they're going to pull the trigger and go Shedeur.
No way you actually think that.
I do. I think they're dumb enough to do it. I really do.
I don't think so. I don't think
Shedeur's better. I just think that the Giants
Joe Sheehan needs to listen to his son, and whoever his son wants is who they're drafting.
Yeah, honestly. I don't think they had the capital to trade up and take Jane Daniels.
I think they do another year of Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, he screwed him out of a first-round pick a couple of times now. So
let him work.
Yeah.
Let Tommy DeVito be the guy for 1 year. Get yourself an Abdul Carter if you can, and then go from there.
And then I think probably the Patriots will go Will Campbell or maybe even Kelvin Banks, but that might be a reach.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm trying to think about next year's draft class for quarterbacks, and it doesn't even seem that strong to me either.
I cannot think of. Carson Beck.
Quinn Ewers. Arch Manning.
Is he next year?
He's going to be eligible.
I thought he was a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, but he's older.
Okay.
So it'll be up to him. But
so that, I mean, he'll probably be the first overall pick.
Jalen Milroe, is he done?
Yeah, he's in the draft.
He's in the draft? Okay.
He'll be like a 5th round pick at this point. He might go to like the Raiders or the Seahawks or I don't know, somewhere.
I hate to say it, but I could so see Jerry drafting him in the 4th round if he's available.
Jerry Jones. I could see Brandon Beane taking him in the 4th or 5th round, if I'm being completely honest with you. Do you remember when the Bills drafted Jake Fromm?
Oh my gosh.
5th round from Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4th round maybe? That was a terrible pick.
I mean, do you remember when the Cowboys drafted Dak Prescott?
That's true.
In the 4th round?
I mean, yeah.
You're like, what are we doing? We have Tony Romo, and then lo and behold,
I mean, even
Dak was the guy.
Even Jalen Hurts in the 1st round was crazy when it happened.
No, he was second.
Or 2nd round.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, Lamar got taken.
I was thinking of Jordan Love.
Lamar got taken 32nd overall.
Yeah.
Jordan Love got taken second round. So
no, Jordan Love was 1st round.
It's crazy how some of the top quarterbacks didn't even go.
Yeah.
When you look at it, like the number 1 overall picks, not even outside of Joe Burrow, none of them are top 5.
Maybe this will just be like the 2022 draft where it's like Kenny Pickett in the 1st round and then Brock Purdy ends up being the best quarterback in the draft.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Love
the
it.
biggest, late round pick. I mean, besides like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Where you can be like, hey, or like Russell Wilson was a late round pick. It's definitely doable. Like it's happened before. I think Jackson Dart might be that guy. Maybe. He's not that good, but he could be. I have no idea. I past that, it's like Jacksonville. They could really go anybody. They'll probably go.
True.
Will Johnson, I would assume. Raiders. Then.
You don't think the Raiders trade up for Shitter?
I think they're dumb enough to do it, but I don't think they will.
Or Trav.
They want Shador. If the draft goes how I've said it is so far, then only Shador is taken. So right now, Cam Ward would just fall straight to the Raiders' lap.
Yeah.
So either they get Shador or they get Cam Ward at 6. I think it's so funny that they won those 2 late games and just absolutely lost the 1st overall pick. That's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Giants. Like that one Drew Lock just masterclass game where they won it. That was unbelievable. Past that point, I feel like, I mean, do the Jets even maybe get a quarterback late? What do they do quarterback?
I think you got to draft wide receiver. Like
you
if Vic Miller is still available from Arizona, like I think he's probably one of the top wide receivers in the draft.
Do they really need receiver?
Yeah. I mean,
Garrett Wilson.
He's kind of fallen off.
He might not even be there.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be moved.
He's
so I
gone,
guess maybe you do. Who plays quarterback if Aaron Rodgers goes?
Well, they parted ways. They mutually parted ways or whatever. I honestly would give Jordan Travis a shot, maybe. Maybe that's a stupid take. Give him a shot, maybe draft like Jalen Milroe late.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, why not?
I was thinking about it, and I'm like,
you got to think, I mean, is Kirk Cousins going to become a free agent?
He's not a free agent, but we could
Do you
trade
think
him.
there's a reunion in New York with Sam Darnold? That's another
I sure hope not.
Theory to throw around?
I love Sam Darnold. I don't.
Where's Garoppolo out nowadays?
Garoppolo, I think he's retired. He was on the Rams. I think he's retired now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to think of who could get moved.
There's going to be free agent quarterbacks.
Aiden O'Connell, even. He's not too bad.
I think Aiden O'Connell deserves a shot.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's your Super Bowl winning quarterback.
No.
But I think he deserves a shot.
Gardner Minshew, again, give him a little bit of a shot.
Gardner Minshew is good enough
Andy
to win you a
Dalton.
few games and kind of ruin your draft stock.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So I think that's a lot of discussions, and we will be sure to have them. But I think it's about time to wrap this thing up. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
so.
All right, well, Gavin, I'm glad you're still alive. I haven't heard from you in a
Well,
moment.
I don't know. I'm not a big college football guy. I don't know much about the draft, so I'm
It's
gonna
all
let
good.
I'm going to let the professionals.
All right.
Do that.
If-
I do not
Come
claim
in
to be a
for some
professional. Do
baseball.
not quote Gavin on that. I am not a professional. Do not come after me.
He's not-
I'm not a
He's
professional
basically
either. I
Mel
mean,
Kiper.
yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in to Afterthoughts, the first episode. It was a little trial run, working some things out, but we appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Afterthoughts.